Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Adam Thinks He Knows How to Play Counter-Strike. I'm your host, Adam, and I think I know how to play Counter-Strike. Just kidding. Um, Here today, I'm doing another demo review. I really didn't want to do another demo review, but I'm doing it anyway. So, first thing, this was sent in by a good friend of mine, Lo. I've been helping him out a lot with coaching and whatnot. So if you're kind of unsure of hey, this Adam guy doesn't really see what he's talking about, I don't know. I have actually, this is proof that my coaching works. This gentleman, if this shit will load, please load. Cool. Alright, so the person who sent in the demo review, sorry. Finally we're back. And this is Low. He's got a picture of his girlfriend on here because he's good at Counter-Strike. He is now Master Guardian 1. He got out of Gold Nova due to my coaching and because he's a badass. One of the things that we're going to go over here really quick is this pistol round. Oh, my notes, hold on. Let's slow this down just a second so we can talk about some stuff. Okay? I'm going to go over, I guess, the meta of the game, the whole meta of Counter-Strike, or the meta of Mirage. I love the understanding, this is my favorite map. That's what I'm trying to get across. This is my favorite map. I know a lot about it. The first thing that we're gonna do is let's take a look at the mini map. We can see that they're all going into mid for some unknown reason, for some stupid reason. The best thing that you can do, you can tell a lot about a team. See, as we can see here. First of all, as we can see here, these guys are queued together, so there's some form of communication hopefully going on. So there's some kind of strategizing, right? They might be playing strat roulette or whatever, it really doesn't matter. But you can almost always tell what kind of a team that you're playing against based on where they go in round one. Now, I always immediately associate people who go in mid, and this is probably really bad of me, because sometimes the going mid does work, but I always associate people who go mid with being retarded. And I hate to say that, but for the most part, it is true. Because if we break down the statistics of the pistols, the USP, completely outweighs the Glock at mid-range, long distance, tapping and stuff like that. Completely outdoes it. Now, with that in mind, why would we ever want to walk down mid? Why would we ever want to do that? Especially, if we're trying to play, a split B or something like that, it still doesn't make any fucking sense for us to try and walk out mid. Because we know they're going to be rotating. We know there's going to be even more people in mid than there normally are, right? So, that's just something to keep in mind. Our CT team is not the one that, they're not responsible for it. But we're going to watch this play out. But like I said, I always try and just associate people who go into mid with being retarded. Okay, there's a certain meta of the game, and you don't mess with that. Going mid is not the meta of the game. Turn down my audio. So I can talk over the game. We're gonna keep. Oh, I'm not even watching Low. I'm not even doing that. I'm watching somebody else completely unrelated. Anyway, so first off, let's go back. I just completely fucked up that round. God damn it, dude.
Yes, my friends. Yes.
Fuck it. We're gonna keep going. This is Low. I know it's Low. So what we've got here is we know he's going into mid for some reason. And we're gonna watch him. I think he runs up Cat and he gets shot. Or something. Yeah, okay, I remember what's going on. So he's gonna run up Cat. He's gonna not check his corners because he's a dummy. Just kidding. He saw him. He saw him jump. This guy's blind. It's twice this guy has seen someone watch this. See? Twice. Now, I don't know if that's playing. Okay, this is a problem now. Like I said, I saw him. You can see him on the video, right? I'm playing on 16 by 9, okay? I'm playing on 16 by 9, so that means that I can see him, right? Now, if I was playing on 21 by 9 or whatever, I could also see him. I could have seen him for sure, right? But if you're playing on 10 by 9 or something retarded, sorry, not 10 by 9, 15 by 9 or whatever the other weird stuff is, or 3 by 4, you will not see these people. Now, I'm not saying, like, hey, don't go play on that stuff. Like, I've got a good friend of mine who's really, really talented and really good at this game, and he plays, like, 4 by 3, and he's been playing that forever because he played, like, Source or something. It's really personal preference. But if it's getting you killed like this, which we can see here, you should probably consider upgrading to 16 by 9. Like I said, either that or play around it, okay? You saw him there, I saw him there, we both saw him there, and you didn't shoot him, and you died. Now, after we do that, we're going to do the very, very basic thing that we normally do. We're going to rage quit. We're going to disconnect. Which I don't think the audio came up. He disconnected. Now, this is something that's something a lot of people don't really, like, think about, other than, like, it's just not, like, a nice thing to do. Disconnecting, like, choosing, like, hey, I think his audio was messed up or something, so this is something that, like, oh, hey, my something is, like, messed up. And this happens a lot, especially at higher tier ranks at, like, MG or DMG or ESEA or whatever, CEVO, I don't care. Whenever you understand how to play the game, and you realize that the enemy team, especially on CT side, whenever you realize that they're down a man, you force up, like, immediately. It's, oh, crap, they're down a guy, we better force up and take it to them. Doesn't matter, we just lost the pistol round. We're going to force up. They're, like I said, they've got a bot, so it's going to be hard for them to hold, okay? You need to make sure that you plan your disconnect strategically. Now, to try and go over this, we're going to keep playing so we can see this. He didn't intend to mess up this round, but the best time to disconnect, because they're, like I said, these guys are already in the mindset, because you can see them already buying armor and a whole bunch of other things. They're already in the mindset of, we're going to take it to them because they're down a guy. So, that is something to consider. Now, he tried to join back, but he didn't make it back enough. He was like literally like a second off. Also, something to consider is, as we continue to do this and continue to go over this, whenever you're joining back, especially in matchmaking, that gets rid of their bot, okay? That gets rid of, like, the 5th man. So, the CT team is already down a guy. Now, with this being said, let's go over a little bit of the meta of Counter-Strike, of Mirage here, to understand what's going on right here. The meta of Counter-Strike, or at least T-side Counter-Strike, is to rush... I hate to say this because I'm going to sound like a fucking retard. I'm going to sound like a noob, like a silver noob, is to rush B and on round 1. Now, it's not like, oh, rush B, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's logic behind it. It's not, oh, I'm rushing B just because I'm rushing B. There's logic behind it because it is literally, like, the best. If you can get out of B apartments, because I've made a video on it. You can go back and you can check my videos. If you make it out of B apartments, you should be able to win aim battles with USPs up close because you've got the advantage. You've got the bullet advantage. You've got the... You should have the man advantage unless they stacked it. So the whole idea is getting out of B side. Now, after that, after the T side win on... on round 1 on Mirage, T side win. Round 2 really doesn't matter, but they're probably going to continue to rush B. I personally always like to go B like 3 rounds in a row, like 1 through 3, and then the 4th round, whenever I buy up, I like to throw just default smokes on A and like assert my dominance on A, because if you screw them on pistol round and then again on round 4, that's like 6 rounds right there. That's like literally like, that's more than enough rounds needed to needed on T side. In theory, that's more than enough rounds. So you've literally already got it made. And if you wanted to, which you probably don't, but if you wanted to, you could, I guess, like lose every round after that and be fine, hopefully. Now, something to consider with this in this situation, they're going to rush B. They're going to go for a plant. This is very, very common. They are trying to do this because it is literally the easiest thing to do. It's such a pain in the ass to try and cross A site on the minimap. It's such a pain in the ass to try and cross to the A position to plant because you're getting shot from so many different locations. If they can make it out of the B side apartments through past the 2 windows down the van, they're good to go. They're golden. They should be able to get a bomb plant that's free money. Now we're going to keep watching as I continue to ramble on. That's what that's what the meta of the game is you're trying to get a bomb plant, especially if you lose round 1. Now, it's evened now. I don't even remember how these guys lost this. They're just being dumbasses. Yeah. So, let's keep watching as these guys lose. Yep. So, something like, when you're down a guy, like in this instance on CT side, you should probably stack 2 on each side and play the entrances to play the entrances to the site while I continue to talk. It's a lot easier for you to hold a site with 2 people on each team. Sometimes you have to stack 3 on A and 2 on B and just let mid be open because, like, they play mid every round, and you just hold connector and you hold cat, and that's what you do. Sometimes you have to do that. But especially with 2 people, like only 4 guys in your match, that's what you have to do. It is something that must be done to successfully hold off the site, because once again to remember, like, what we're doing here is we're stopping a bomb plant. We don't care, like, mid, there's no bomb site in mid. You shouldn't be watching that. Like, there's really no reason to. You've got a guy on stairs who's probably watching connector, or should be, you know, it's his job to watch connector and watch stairs and palace. The other guy's watching, like, ramp, and he can also help watch, like, connector. You've got a guy whose specific job is to sit there on cat and literally, like, watch it. Like, that's literally, like, what you're doing. And you've got another guy watching in the B apartment. So, like, that is the strategy there that I recommend for 4 guys. Always got to make sure that you think about the bomb. Like, that's what you have to do. Now, it's not really Lowe's fault, because he wasn't really here, but he needs to plan out his disconnects a little bit more timely. I would recommend a disconnect on round 5. Now, I understand you got no audio, I understand that, but you want to disconnect at a timely manner. You would have been up like 3 rounds had y'all not lost that round, and you could have afforded to disconnect, right? So, I'm still not watching the same fucking... God damn it. There he is. Oh, okay, hold on. What the hell is this? Let's go back to the beginning of the round. We're going to talk about rotates here really quick. We're not. We're not going to talk about rotates, because... What the hell? I fucking hate these demos, they suck. Put fucking gloves in the game, but your hit detection's... I think we're on the right round. Now I'm going to do this. We're going to speed up so we can get back.
Come on, chop. Deploying decoy. Decoy's out. I'm throwing smoke. I'm throwing
Alright,
smoke.
so what we've got here, as I cut back to normal speed, we're going to pause right here. Take a look at the mini-map. Now, I understand they're saving. I understand that. That makes a lot of sense, and I understand that they're saving, and normally I try not to rag on people who lose rounds when they're saving, because there's really not a whole lot of point here. But something to consider that you can take, we all can take with us whenever, like, we're saving or we're not saving or regardless or whatever. When we are rotating from B site to A site, we need to make sure there is somebody in ticket booth. Okay? If we look at the map, there's nobody there. Now, if we continue to watch the video, which we will in here in a second, we can see, oh, hey, he's probably going to plant default. Now, as we continue to go over this, and as I just say this from memory without even looking at my notes, the most crucial thing that you can do in a retake is go through ticket booth. Now, I understand it is dangerous, but if you do it correctly, you will literally change the time. One guy at ticket booth is worth, like, 3 of them at fucking, like, stairs. Like, legit. Like, it is so crucial that you guys stay at stairs and don't do what he's about to do. I understand he's saving, but you need to go through ticket booth. The best case scenario, with the experience that you will gain from playing this game, is you can feel, like, say he's got an M4, as an example, you can shoot the guy before he plants. Like I said, Ticket Booth, I'm going to go in game, and I'm going to show you guys how to play Ticket Booth, because there's lots of, like, special things you need, not a lot, but there's some things that need to be said about it. But, Ticket Booth is where you should be rotating. Now, it's kind of weird that I chose this to talk about, but, yes, you should make sure that you always want to spread out, because we don't want, like, 3 guys, as we're seeing here. We don't want, like, 3 guys coming from the same area. Not to mention the fact, if we look at the minimap, if we look at this, we can see somebody literally died in jungle. He peeked it, and he died immediately. What does that tell us? What does that tell you, or does that tell me as a player, whenever I watch my teammate die in a location? What does that tell me? Well, depending upon the location, it tells me exactly where the enemy is at. My teammate just died in jungle. Not at the window, but peeking jungle. That tells me, for the most part, common sense, game sense here. There's another game sense thing. If you watched the last video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That tells me there is somebody in Palace. Now, I can look at the mini-map and I can see, oh, hey, there's a guy in Palace, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I mean. I mean, that's what logically there means. If you ever notice, I never try and play these demo reviews with the X-ray on, because personally, I have, like, wall hack PTSD. That's one thing. But, also, I don't like them. Because I always like to put myself in the position of the person who sent me the demo. So, if you're sending me a demo, like, I always like to do that so I can sit here and say, hey, what would I do in this location? I always take it upon myself to try and, like, figure out what I did wrong, and then I try and let them know what they've done wrong. Now, as we watch this, as we go ahead and move forward, as soon as my mouse comes back into the crappy little thing, he's gonna do exactly dead teammate. You saw his body, and you saw that guy's head. I saw his head. I don't know if you saw his head. He's still up there, and you're dead. Okay? So, like I said, I personally hate that spot. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's just an awful spot to hold. Even with an op, it takes a lot of skill, and it's just infuriating whenever you can't hold it. Now, we're going to have to skip a little bit, because I think they called a timeout so he could try and go and fix his mic. These guys are really nice. They were doing timeouts, and they were letting him fix his mic. So, that's fine. Oh, maybe they were strategizing. Let me slow this back down, and, come on, piece of shit. Let's also, where are you at? Okay, here he is. Okay, so, we're also going to go over the fact that we won round 1. That's something easy. We won round 1. That's easy. We fucked up round 2, and we've lost round 3. Now, we all have, like, 3K, which I can pull up right here. We all have, like, $3,000, except for the bot, even though that guy's going to be back here in a minute. Yeah, there he is. So, there he is. Okay, cool. So, he's got 6K. Something we can do is we can buy up. We can force up. We can buy, and we can try and win this round, because the meta of Counter-Strike and all the maps is round 4 is the definitive round of how this half is going to go. It is the first CT buy round versus the first, like, T buy round. It's the first, like, every man from, like, just an all-out, like, all-out brawl, okay? So, now, this 1-2 kind of destroys that meta of the game. As we're going to see here, these guys are going to save, and I think they're going to armor pistol, yeah. So, that is, in my opinion, that is a good call. That makes perfect sense. But, it is also something to be noted that you can try and throw your opponent off. Because, something that I, personally, if I was playing T-side, I would have called this. I would have said, they're going to save another round. Now, had they not saved another round, we would have been screwed. Now, I'm going to restart this. We're going to go back so I can go over playing mid. I wasn't done talking game, so before you go ahead and get ahead of me, you can buy up and try and break this meta of the game that we have established at MG1, okay? You can try and break that meta, but it's kind of, that knife looks like shit. Oh my god. But it's kind of like frowned upon, like certain times. Like, there's many times whenever I'll get angry because somebody's playing retarded, and it's like they're not playing the meta of the game, you know? But, anyway, we're going to keep going ahead. We're going to go ahead and, I guess, just move on to the next thing that I was talking about. Playing mid. Now, this is something that I want to do, along with the meta of the game. You're going to hear a lot of me talking about the meta of the game. I'm still working on that video, so that'll be out soon. But, if we watch this in, like, slow-mo, or not slow-mo, but I'll try and make this quick. I'm going to slow this down. Slow this down, half speed. That's not the right guy. Fuck! There he is. Okay, so one tapped, right? Now that was the thing that I wanted to get through. Okay, so he peeked and he got one tapped. But if we notice, he got there early. Now, something that should always be considered when trying, like, you know that he's gonna play mid. This is something I do every time that happens to me, regardless of what round it is. The moment that I walk out into mid with an op or whatever, and I just take a bullet straight to the head and I die, I sit there and I reevaluate myself. I go, okay, what did I do wrong? Why is this guy cheating? But I immediately sit there and I go, okay, I need to fake him out. Like, I have to do something different because this guy is so used to people literally peeking from that angle. You get so good at just one-tapping people whenever you've done it, like, thousands of times. Thousands of hours playing this game, you've seen that, like, just a lot. You get super good. It's muscle memory to peek out mid and just poof, just take somebody out. Something to consider to mix it up. Something I always do to mix it up. I run all the way to the left. Because we know, you and I both know, you, viewer, and me, we know that CT side gets to mid first. That gives me plenty of time to cross to the left. And I'll show you here later, Adam, remember, when you're editing the video, to put this in here. I'll show you later what I'm talking about and what angle that you should be holding when you're doing that. Now, if they run up cat, this is kind of tricky, but if they're not, if they're trying to cross mid, you can do this. The only thing you have to watch out for is a Molotov, and even then, you should always have a smoke with you. But I will go ahead. You always want to cross to the left, and I'll show you exactly here later what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to move on to the next round. This is round 5. I'm going to skip. This is something I'm going to let play out, because he also, something I always like to do, and I didn't really get to do this a whole lot in my silver review, because there's not a whole lot to praise in silver. You're playing the game. You're trying not to die, so, this is a game sense thing. I'm going to turn this up, and I want you guys just to experience, like, what a solid round from this is. Now, there's many, many ways that game sense works. There's many, many ways for this to work, but this is something that should be, like, taken in and should be appreciated. I'm going to try and not make these videos, like, retardedly long. We're going to keep watching. This guy has played mid every round. Okay? This is their first buy round. Okay? Remember that. This is technically round 4. Kind of. Not really. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the x-ray really quick. Boom. I know there's a guy right there. Okay? I can also look at the map. But, this is kind of a weird spot that he's holding. Good Molotov. That's fine. But we are going to keep watching this here.
Throwing smoke.
And I'm just gonna I'm gonna talk over this like the butthead that I am. It's a weird smoke. Okay, first off, we know that Molotov wasn't his, though it's theirs. He knows somebody's in there. He screwed up the flashbang. That's fine. That's not fine, but that's, I mean, it's alright. We can work on it. If you hold down both the mouse buttons, you can throw it straight in, or you can throw it in deep. The problem with throwing in the flashbang is it gives away your position. Now, if we continue to watch this. Boom. Okay, so, game sense, he jumped up, he got shot at by an op, didn't die immediately, thank God. So he said, oh crap, there's an op. I shouldn't repeat that like a dumbass, right? So he's hiding, he's playing this very, very smart. And, he's waiting. Look, we saw the guy. He's not re-peeking from the same position because he doesn't want to be shot, right? So, we're going to keep going. He hears him. Steps. Now, this is kind of just a me thing. I always try and sit here and wait. Good kill. Very solid kill. I always try and wait for them to plant the bomb. You got 10 seconds left. That's something that should be considered. Trying to kill that guy. That guy's planting the bomb. There it is. The first time I didn't even hear him plant the bomb. He could have single-handedly shut down this whole round. Now, I'm sure, as we let this round play out, I'm sure that he probably called out, or maybe in Mike was off, the bomb's at B. Now, even if he didn't call out, you can see the bomb. He shot the guy with the bomb at van. It shows up on the minimap, the bright red thing. His teammate should have been rotating, but he played that almost, like, perfectly, in my opinion. And he delayed the time and all the other stuff, and he killed, like, a lot of people. And it was a very, very solid round on his part, you know? So, we're going to keep going. I think we're going to skip to round 8. So let's go ahead and skip to round 8. Another praise thing. There's really not a whole lot. I didn't write down a whole lot of notes because I've done this guy a lot. And I hate to say that, but I have done this guy a lot. He has learned a lot from me.
Let us stay together.
We're going to watch this round as another motivational thing. Adam, give me a montage here in a minute. You know what I'm talking about. Give me a montage. Let's put it in. We need some death metal music. And we need just like a dramatic camera angle, okay? So let's do that. Are you guys ready? Alright, so we're back after that amazing montage. That was really all I had for CT side. We're gonna go ahead and I guess skip ahead, just a little bit ahead. Not a little bit, a whole lot. We're gonna skip to, I think, round 16. Now, as we talked about rushing B, something to always consider when we are rushing B is that you need to know where your team's at. Now, if we take a look at the huge gap between him and his team, boom, it's gonna happen. Do not rush B by yourself. It's not how that works. Okay? So, they end up losing this round. It's not completely his fault. I don't really care. I didn't watch the rest of it because I saw him die. I was like, oh, fuck. It's one of those rounds, you know. We're gonna keep going. I hate to say this, because I like this guy. This guy is so oblivious at certain, like, sometimes he knows what's going on, but there's also certain points where he's just oblivious to certain things. There's like an instance on round 10, which I did skip over by accident, that I just found in my notes, where he saw somebody and didn't kill him, and they won the round, but it's fine, but, like, he, like, legit saw somebody and didn't kill him. And this is kind of weird. He's literally, like, looking at a wall, not paying attention. He's boosting. I understand that you should be watching Cat. I was freaking out. I was like, you gotta be watching Cat. Now, he's walking up, he saw somebody there, he's still not turning around to watch Cat, he's seeing bullets, and he's going down. So, like, you gotta make sure that you are aware of Cat, and I'm not saying that, you know, that would have, like, watching Cat would have won the whole round, but it's something to be aware of. You need to make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. That is one of the big things that I did not see consistently. It's another big thing is consistency. Now, he may be doing this, like, you know, get an ace or whatever, but if you're not consistent with your other, like, the little small things, it's going to be kind of bad. Now, the last thing that I have written in my notes as we come out here, we listen, or not, oh, fuck. Where is this guy at? This guy. You dirtbag. This is what we're going to talk about, this guy right here. Now, we're throwing smokes. They already know we're here, but something to consider. Whatever you do, this crap, this thing right here. Did you hear that? I heard that. I'm sure everybody in the map heard that, right? So, whenever, just to reiterate, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the demo because that's the last of the things that I have to tell you guys. Whenever you're throwing the bomb on the ground, it does make a sound. It sounds like everything sounds the same whenever you're throwing it on the ground, but it's kind of obvious whenever you're throwing the bomb on the ground because they're not dropping their gun. They're not that stupid. It's not silver, right? So it's kind of obvious and something that should be considered while you're playing like a B, like a late B. Don't throw the bomb on the ground because that literally gives away your entire position. It gives away your cover. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had like my full team rotate to B after I heard them drop the bomb once, and we immediately just shut them down because they dropped the bomb. I still don't have any of my stuff set up. So, what we've got, what I'm going to go over, two things I'm going to go over really quick before I end this video, as we're going over. We're going to go over what I was talking about in mid. We're going to go over what I was talking about in at ticket booth. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and
We're on.
oh, deathmatch, badass. All right, cool. This is kind of a bad deal. I may need to kill myself. So I don't have a smoke to show you guys, but imagine there's a wall of smoke there. Just kidding. This is what I'm talking about. Whenever you're playing this, you need to be considered. This is literally like the easiest thing. I could shoot that with my eyes closed. It's not hard. The default plant position, a lot of things that people don't realize is the default plant position on every map is literally the same in every, like, regardless of, like, unless they're planning, like, unless he's planning up here, which even this you can still shoot, but people, when they're planning the bomb, they always come up here and they stop right here, or they stop right here in the corner. So all you have to do is aim at the box and you can kill them, like, any level, just about, unless it's like, maybe like Silver Run. That's why people like freak out whenever they're playing against low-ranked people, because they don't understand. But whenever you're playing against somebody who's experienced, they're almost always, unless they're super experienced, and they, like, I mean, I've started, like, planning, like, here specifically, and, like, trying to avoid bullets there. But you always want to plant here, and the reason people do this is because they're trying to avoid that, and they're just, like, it just feels natural. It naturally feels better to plant right here. Something I also do is I plant right here. That's just to try and mix that up. But whenever they plant here, one of the things you need to always consider, and you may or may not die, you can shoot through that, but also jump up here, because if the smoke, if it's a good smoke, it'll block up your, it'll block you off right here. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to watch it, but if you're quiet enough, you can jump up here and you can kill them as they're planting. Now, let me, cool. We're going to go over, that's what I want. Cool. So, we're going to go over my CT side sniping thing really quick. Now, make sure we always buy the dual Berettas. They are the best gun in the game. The best. I thought I had a dual Beretta skin. What the fuck? That's one of the cooler animations. It's kind of, like, unappreciated. The dual Beretta skins. A lot of little things. So, yeah, we're running through mid. So instead of holding the angle like this, like a lot of people do, instead of holding it like this, which I feel kind of bad because I know I told Low this is how you hold this, blah, 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 blah. If you're getting one-tapped, move all the way to the left, and you're going to want to hold this angle right here. This is the angle I hold. This is kind of hard, because what it is like, I see him, I'm going to shoot him. I see him, I shoot him. I see him, I shoot him. Like I said, if they're running up cat, like, literally straight up, like, they're hugging the wall of cat, you're not going to be able to see them. But if they're crossing, that's an easy kill. Because for the most part, they're not going to be expecting you to, like, if you're not here, they're going to be watching like this. So one thing you can do is you can watch that, and you can slowly peek out and crouch shoot them. But I'd be careful about that. But a lot of the times, if they're not smoking it off, they'll come out here and they'll run like this, and then they'll get shot. Because, like I said, you come out, you're not really watching that angle. You can't really be seen, you know, because they're watching this. It's gonna take them. They're gonna have to go like that. So that's something to consider. And that is how I personally do that. Another thing, wish I had smoke grenades, but I don't. Whenever I'm smoking this off, I toss my smoke off of that. It bounces like right here and it pops. Now this kind of, I always like play right here, and I'm kind of like watching this right here, because the smoke will be like right here. There's like a wall of smoke. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, there's like a wall of smoke, and my vision kind of like ends right there. So I can watch this. I can slow peek this as long as we're not in underpass, and I can make sure he's not running up. Now if he's not there, I jump up here, and I'm making, like I said, be careful of down there, because that'll get you shot super quick. But if he's not up there, jump up here and shoot him. You can watch across from right here. It's crazy. There's lots of little things. They never expect this, you know. If you're not paying attention, you'll get shot. But it's a good place for a cheeky kill, especially for an experienced MG, MG2, whatever. Any experienced player knows what he's doing, right? So, be ready for that. I think that's everything I've got. I hope it wasn't as long as the last video, and I will see you guys with another demo review here pretty soon. Thank you.